Voice. Active voice and passive voice. Active voice and passive voice is the most important topic in English grammar, which has been asked number of times in most of the competitive examinations. Whatever competitive examination you are going to appear, definitely there will be a question which has been given from voice. So that voice is the most important topic. In every competition, in each and every competitive examination, there will be a question, definitely it will be asked from voice. So that voice is the most important topic which we are going to discuss now. At the same way, if you get a question in your examination, how to transform the sentence active into passive? Just before going to transform the sentence active into passive, the first thing is that we have to identify whether the sentence which has been in your examination is just active voice or passive voice. To find out that, there are some rules and regulations. So that we have to move on to learn those rules and regulations. Rules of changing the sentences active into passive. The first rule is object becomes subject. Just before going to change the sentence active into passive, first of all, the first rule is object becomes subject. Let us take an example. I write a novel. If you observe the sentence, this is what I write a novel. So what is I, what is write, what is a novel? This is a sentence. Now we have to transform the sentence active into passive. In your examination, they don't ask you to change into passive or to change into active. So that we have to identify whether is it in active voice or passive voice. But how? Simple. There are some rules and regulations. If you observe the sentence is I write a novel. In the given sentence, there is no helping verb. The verb is in first form. The verb is not in third form, and there is no preposition by. So that this is not passive voice. Directly we can say that the sentence is in active voice. So now we have to transform the sentence active into passive. So as you want to transform the sentence active into passive, we have some rules and regulations. Among them, the first one is object becomes subject. So what is object? The object is a novel. Novel is an object. So that object has to be in the place of subject. So a novel has been replaced into subject. Then what is the next rule? The next rule is by the time of changing the sentence active into passive, we need to use the helping verb just beside the subject in the passive voice. But actually here it is our subject and this is the passive voice. So here we have to use the helping verb. But simply if you say we have to use a helping verb, which helping verb should be used there? So if you really want to use a helping verb, the first thing is that we have to identify the tense of the sentence. So I write a novel. If we form the structure, what is I? I, it is subject, and write, this is the first form of the verb, and a novel, this is object. So now the sentence has been given in simple present tense. So now the sentence is in present tense. So now as you want to transform the sentence active into passive, here actually we have three helping verbs. They are is, am, are. So as we have three helping verbs, among these three, which helping verb should be used here? If you really want to use a helping verb among these three, first of all, we have to know the usage of the subjects to the helping verbs. If you observe am, so only for I, we have to use the helping verb am. So what is I? I is first person singular. At the same way, for all plurals, what are plurals? First person plural, second person singular and plural, as well as third person plural. For them, we need to use the helping verb are. At the same way, what is remind? Is. So for all third person singular numbers in the present tense, so what are your third person singulars? He, she, it. So he, she, it are a third person singulars. For them, we need to use the helping verb is. So now actually here we have three helping verbs: is, am, are. Only for I, we have to use the helping verb am. For all plurals, we need to use helping verb are. What are the plurals? First person plural, second person singular and plural, as well as third person plural. For them, we need to use helping verb are. At the same way, for all third person singular numbers in the present tense, we need to use the helping verb is. but actually our subject is a novel. So which helping verb should be used? Actually the subjects which we used here around these helping verbs, they are all pronouns, and at the same way we call them as personal pronouns in subject forms. I, we, you, they, he, she, it are called personal pronouns in subject forms. But actually what is noun? A noun is what is a novel? A novel is a noun. So a novel is a noun, but actually what is the pronoun of a novel? The pronoun of a novel is it. So what is it? It is third person singular. If it is third person singular, what is your helping verb? The helping verb is. So here actually we have to use the helping verb is. So a novel is. Is should be used. Is a helping verb which actually we have to use beside the subject in the passive voice. So a novel is. What is the third rule? The third rule is by the time of changing the sentence active into passive, the verb must be in its third form only. The verb should be in its third form only. So if you observe this active voice, I write a novel. So write is the first form. Write is the first form. So if it is first form, so what is the conjugation of write? The conjugation of write is write, wrote, written, writing. So the third form is written. So written is the third form which has to be used here just beside the helping verb. So a novel is written. So we have to use written. A novel is written. So what is the next rule? The next rule is always preposition by follows the verb third form. Here now the sentence has been completed up to here. A novel is written. So now here actually we have to use preposition by. Always. If you observe the passive voice, most of the passive voice will be followed by this by. What is by? By is the preposition. So a novel is written by. So always preposition by follows the verb third form. So a novel is written by. Then what is the next rule? Subject becomes object. So what is our subject? The subject is I. So I is our subject. So that subject becomes object. So I becomes me. If you observe, I becomes me. We becomes us. You becomes you. They becomes them. At the same way, here the subject is I. As the subject is I, so we have to use me. I becomes me. So finally our answer is a novel is written by me. In this way we have to transform the sentence active into passive. Okay, and let's see one more example. Siri is singing a song. So Siri is singing a song is a sentence. Now we have to transform the sentence into voice. But actually before going to transform the sentence into voice, the first thing is that we have to find whether the sentence is in active voice or passive voice. Is it in active voice or passive voice? So how do you get confirmation? Simple. As we have done and as we have learned in the above sentences, very easily we can find there should be a helping verb. Of course we have a helping verb here, and there should be the verb third form, but actually here we don't have any verb third form, and there should be a preposition by. There is no preposition by, so that this is not passive voice, and directly we can say this is active voice. So now we have to transform the sentence active into passive. So that if you really want to transform the sentence active into passive, as usually we have some rules and regulations. So as we know that object becomes subject, object is a song, that is the reason we have to use that object in the place of subject. But actually this is not simple present tense. If we form the structure, we can find this is in present continuous. Siri is singing a song. Here the singing is nothing but verb first form plus ing form. So what is verb first form plus ing form? This is called present participle. Now this is in continuous tense. So that as we are going to transform the sentence active into passive, the verb should be in its third form only. Here actually this is singing. So that sing, sang, and the third form is sung. According to the rule, when you are transforming the sentence active into passive, the verb should be in its third form only, definitely. But actually here it is singing. But even in the continuous tense, we have to show the continuity. So that even in that continuous tense, to show the continuity, we have to add few more things. You know what actually what we have to use there? We have to add being. Being represents about continuous tense. Okay, so that here actually we have a note. The note is by the time of changing the sentence active into passive, we need to use being just beside the helping verb in the passive voice. Okay, now how should we transform the sentence active into passive? Actually, Siri is singing a song. This is in present continuous tense. So that let us transform the sentence active into passive. But actually how to transform the sentence active into passive, we can see here. So simple. A song is being sung by Siri because Siri's subject is the helping verb. Okay, instead of that is, am, or actually here we have three helping verbs. Actually Siri is third person singular. That's the reason we have to use helping verb is. And these are conditions. That is the reason where first complex single form we have used here. And a song is object. So Siri is singing a song is present continuous tense. So to transform the sentence active into passive, actually we have to use object becomes subject. So that a song is or object. That is the reason we have replaced this song as subject. And the second rule is by the time of changing the sentence active into passive, we need to use the helping verb just beside the subject, the passive voice. Actually, this is the subject. Here we need to use the helping verb so that we have used is. At the same way, this is a continuous tense. But actually in the passive voice, the verb should be in its third form only. So that even in the passive voice, to show the continuity, we have used being. Okay, and the verb should be its third form only. Actually always preposition by follows verb third form and subject becomes object. But actually Siri is a noun. If it is pronoun, if instead of Siri, if we have she, that she has to become her. But actually this is not she. This is what, this is not pronoun and this is noun. So that the noun that has to be replaced same as usual without changing. So a song is being sung by Siri. In this way we have to transform the sentence active into passive. Let's see one more example. Bruno has brought bread. Bruno has brought the bread is a sentence. Let us form the structure. Subject plus haver has plus verb third form plus object. Now the sentence has been given in present perfect tense. So now as we want to transform the sentence active into passive, directly we can say that this is not passive voice and this is active voice. So as you want to transform the sentence active into passive, the same rules and regulations have to be followed. But actually we have to add one more note here. The note is been should be used. Okay, so that the rule is here by the time of transforming the sentence active into passive, we need to use been just beside the helping verb in the passive voice. Okay, and our answer will be like this here. Bread has been brought by Bruno. So if you observe the sentence here, Bruno is the subject and this is the helping verb has. So that here actually we have two helping verbs, have and has, and brought is a verb third form and bread is our object. According to the rule, object becomes subject. So bread is our object. That is the reason object becomes subject. So we have used this bread as our subject. And here this bread has to be considered as third person singular. That is the reason we have used the helping of has. And been should be used here. And brought is our verb third form. And always preposition by follows verb third form. As usually subject becomes object. So that Bruno has written same. So bread has been brought by